or do you just want to skip the pledge and just get right into this?
No.
We're all
No, let's do
patriots
the
here. You
pledge.
guys got to do the pledge.
That'll be all over town.
Try.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll try to go through this quickly.
I can't write that quick.
Well, this should be easy. It's just the first one is the motion to receive bids to pave Water Street. See where that ends up. So we've already discussed this stuff. So I need a motion to receive bids or accept bids to pave Water Street.
I'll make that motion. We
All
receive
right.
bids to pave Water Street.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed. All right, then we need, John and Mike and I kind of messed up here, but we were under the gun for some pressure, so now we need you guys to bail us out. We need a motion to put in cross drains at Spruce and Forest. We talked about not doing that after talking to Sean. He suggested we do it. Plus Mike got some free stuff. So we got caught up in a moment and kind of told Mike. He went ahead and already placed the order, so we need to approve paying for the collection box and the labor, which will be, the whole thing is going to come to about $2,500. That's what I got from
It's
you?
gonna be a little bit more than that. Well, the materials, yeah.
It can be paid for from liquid
Yeah.
fuels, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be, the 3 boxes of
I'm just talking,
3,300.
yeah, I'm talking just the ones up here at
Oh,
Forest
yeah, the
Street.
one
All
up
that
here's
stuff
only
down there.
$1,100,
How
and we
much?
got the other one for nothing.
Yeah.
$1,100.
All right, so how
That's
much?
with the grate.
Okay, and then we have Macaulay is going to install that. We're going to have his labor. When you add the
Yeah.
two of them together, we have $2,500.
That's correct.
Okay, so I need a motion to put a cross drain in at Spruce and Forest.
Yeah, I got prices on that on Macaulay. I mean, he wasn't the only one. He was the low one.
Right, I remember
Yeah,
when.
just
when
so you
brought
guys know
in.
that I just didn't go get
Right.
him. I got
Right.
different prices on several contracts.
Right, we know that. And Sean was
All right,
there.
I just,
and, yeah,
just wanted to make sure you knew that.
we.
Thanks, Mike.
So anyway, I need a motion to spend $2,500 for a cross drain on Spruce and Forest.
I make a motion to pay for a cross drain at Spruce and Forest for $2,500.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for bailing us out.
Where does that come from then?
Liquid fuels, all this.
I'll make sure.
Yes. Yes, we're going to be in desperate shape here, and I'll get down to that in a little bit, what's going to happen to us. All right, I'll give you an update. Well, first I'm going to talk, we spoke with Sean and with Terry. They're women. She's from DCED, he's from PennDOT. They're real pleased with the way things are happening here. And basically the comment was this: you've done more in 3 months than the previous people did in 10 years. You got out of the car and you had a different statement. Do you want to say what your statement was?
I don't recall what.
You said 30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
And I'm with you on that.
Me too.
Yeah, we made a lot of progress. The town is looking good, and thank you, Mike. You're putting in a lot of time here, and you
yes,
got the
definitely.
streets. So on that tangent, go ahead. I'm just going to let you tell us what we have going on here on Wednesday.
Wednesday we'll have Jefferson Paving coming in, and we're doing the 3 pieces down by the minute mark there, Pine to Franklin to Culvert, and Culvert to the minute mark. Those alleys are going to be oiled, and if they have time, they're going to go up and do behind on Turtle Alley behind Rizzo's Dental, Josie's, and the Christian Missionary Alliance. That alley's all ready to go. If they have time, they're going to do that. If they do it all, it's going to be $6,000, and if they just get this down below here, it's going to be 37. So it's and he thinks he can get it done, but he doesn't want to guarantee it because he's got to see what the other municipalities that I worked with, how much they got to have done. If they add anything on to theirs, it's liable to make them run too late to do up behind Rizzo's.
Anyway, we're
But-
within the 7,000
Yeah,
that we all
we're,
approved
yeah,
to do
$6,000, so we're well within what
Okay.
we projected.
that. I don't know if you guys have been down there.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks real
fantastic.
good right now, and I'm assuming it's going to even be better. So I can't imagine that anybody isn't pleased with that. Seems to me it's been money well spent. And again, can't thank you enough, Mike.
Did you say another alley, Turtle Alley, and did you say another one too?
Yeah, Turtle Alley up behind the Christian Missionary Alliance, Josie's and Rizzo's. That's like the add-on piece that I did.
Then
And I'd like to thank the state for giving us the millings, because that's what made the whole project.
we owe a lot to the state. We wouldn't
Yeah.
have the money if it wasn't for the help
Yeah.
of both
And,
Sean
you know,
and Terry.
We rented that roller for $125 for a week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that
can't
was-
beat the
that was
price.
dirt
And
cheap.
So we got
Yeah.
we're getting some deals. here.
GNR Demolition and Excavating rented us the roller for $125. We had to go get it and bring it back, but that was dirt cheap. We used the Burrow truck to go get it, and I had a trip going over to Tyrone, so I basically took it back with my truck.
I don't think everybody knows about the free stuff that you got. I kind of put it in the notes.
Yeah, yeah, the millings, the state.
No, I meant from the other end, the collection box, the exit wall, what they are, that stuff we
Oh,
got
yeah.
free too.
Yeah, Dixon Precast donated one drop box, and I give us like an end wall that we can use down there. That in the
What
three.
it is, it's just a vertical wall where the pipe comes out, where it exits into
Yeah.
a blade.
And Kirk
line.
McCauley said that we'll put that in, and then he wants to put a big stone where the water comes out, so that it keeps it from eroding.
And,
It'll come out and kind of like.
and we have the 12-inch pipe, so we may as well use some of that.
Yeah.
So the other thing, I'll get back then to, you have anything else, Mike?
Nope, we're good.
All right, the other thing with our visit with the people from the state, they both said they actually felt welcome here for the first time ever. They actually felt welcome. We spent what, 3 hours with Terry?
She was amazing. She just really knows her job, and you can tell she likes it. And she gave us ideas and stuff to do and don't do. And
We have to thank her. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. This would take us down to this SAM Systems Award, the nightmare we all had with that. For some reason, I said, why is it when you submitted this that it went through, and we tried numerous times, and basically she said the site was probably malfunctioning for us. So much demand, everybody was applying for a SAM number at the same time. But that was one of the most aggravating experiences I've ever had in my life. It was just
12
terrible.
times. It didn't take two. You did it 12 separate
Yes.
times.
Well, she did the
Times.
final one. It wasn't me. It was her.
Oh, was that what?
She made me the administrator. I was trying to get John. Everything we did, it just kept saying that the email address didn't match up. She used exactly the same stuff, submitted the same notarized letter, and it worked. For whatever reason, we are now, and the state has moved that on. They said that they want us to have the $5,100,
$1,000.
$51,000. I think that didn't sound right. When I
Didn't
said
sound
that. So
worth it.
yeah, so we're waiting. As of right now, I just went in and checked the bank account. It hasn't arrived yet. And I keep worrying that somehow the stuff that we owe the IRS is going to derail this.
I paid
My
it.
paranoia.
Yeah, I paid a bunch of the IRS stuff too. And one of the things that you guys all kept saying you ran into was different addresses, different emails and stuff that were not inserted properly. And that's something that we need to get together. So it's all the same.
I'm kind of bouncing here on this agenda, but I've talked, but I know. I talked once again to Representative Thompson's staff. So I sent them the information that they need to get this rolling. So I don't know how it pans out. They understand our situation and all this mess. And basically the argument is we do not have the financial or human resources to solve this problem. We can't fix this. So somebody has to help us out. And this has to be fixed because that's what I mentioned down here. We're going to operate in the red. $12,000 of that goes right to the IRS. It's these fines and penalties. So that has to be our next of area of focus. We have to stop that
And that's what's
somehow.
red flagging. The state were no longer, the state
No,
stuff
that's
is
not
paid.
what that's a different red flag. We're getting red
But it's
flagged
done.
by the state because our audits have not been completed. Those two
Yeah.
audits, and we should not be in this situation, but we are, and we're going to get the same thing. I talked to Rich, and what it's going to amount to is you get a qualified opinion. That's a step better than a no audit opinion. A no audit opinion simply means that we did not cooperate with the auditors, yet they asked us for stuff, we wouldn't give it to them. We are cooperating with this guy, and he made it clear. He said, Paul, there's no finance report here for me to audit, because the books, all she did was she just simply made entries. Nothing was set up properly. And every other auditor told us exactly the same thing all the way back when we were audited in 2017. Your bookkeepers don't know how to use QuickBooks, and therefore we've never fixed this. We knew this in 2017, and here we are in 2021. He's going to give us the same results, and he said he's not going to recreate the audit or the bookkeeping, and the others told us the exact same thing. And I don't care. I just want this resolved. Just end it. So he's hoping to have 2019 done within a month. He'll submit the stuff to DCED. Now what that means, and Terry pointed this out to us, which is why I asked about the audit. Their fiscal year ends in 2 weeks, the end of this month. And so we would need these audits to be completed by then to be eligible for grants for this year. Number one, we can't work that fast. We won't get any grants, any proposals in anyway. So this year's wiped out. We won't get anything, but next year he should have both of these submitted. Terry knows they're going to be qualified audits. Everybody knows that the bookkeeping was bad here. And so we will then hopefully be on an even keel. We'll get that stuff done. And then he also figured he should have this place set up and running on his QuickBooks account by August. So we should have our first finance report in September if everything goes well here. Now again, he took everything off of the computer that was here and tried to integrate that into his system, but it's of very little value to him. So therefore he has to, plus I question the accuracy of the numbers that were entered. So he's going to have to go back in time and redo everything from the beginning of the year to this point to give us workable numbers. So that being said, again, I'm bouncing all over the place here, forgive me. It doesn't matter because there's no
Okay.
motions on this stuff.
I know, but I want you to go back to the American Rescue Plan money. Explain that so people in the borough know about it.
It says over 2 years, so that means you're only going to get half. And
Yes, you get half each year. It's,
It's
Thank you.
half in a 2-year expand.
yeah, we have 4 years to spend all of the money. I'm not going to go into real great
No,
detail
just that
until
you
we
can
can
use it for
talk
certain,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very restricted money. It has to somehow be COVID related. Now, one of the things you can use it on are the storm sewers. So we can use it there. And at that point, I'm going to leave
Yeah,
that
just that it's
right there
restricted.
until we,
Yeah.
yes, till
Like
we figure
liquid
that
fuels
out.
can be used for certain
Yes.
things, this can only be used for
Yeah,
certain.
so we can't pay the light bill with it. We can't pay the staff with it. But she said here, we were kind of creative. Here's one of the things that I think you pointed it out. There used to be a recycling program here that has now been terminated. And so we want to make an argument that because of COVID, they used free labor, free prison labor. They couldn't do it because of COVID. So we're trying to make the argument, we would like to get dumpsters, put them in the community to replace that. She kind of thought that was an
Woolwich
interesting and a good
Township,
argument.
I have the article too.
Now, I don't know if they're doing it through this COVID money, however.
I don't know,
They're
but
just
they're
doing it.
Yeah.
You know, the only way we can possibly do it is with this money. With money like this, we can't use general
Just
revenue, not an
No
auction.
tires and no freon.
Yes, but if we can make that case and we can use this stuff, we have to decide. We're going to have to brainstorm this, and I'll ask. This will give you a little bit of a heads up here. Pick the 5 things, your top 5 things that you would want to do with that money. I don't want to have that discussion right now, but we need to have that discussion to figure out, and I'll have some options for us as we go through and we read everything, and we've already started, where we can use it, where we can't. We can't pave roads with it, for example. But one that I do know, we can do some of, all this stuff that we're doing with the storm drains. If we had the COVID money, we could use it to pay for, say, this $2,500 that we just talked about. Now, I don't know if, so that's why I look every day and hope the money will be there tomorrow, so we could pay some of the stuff that we're going to be billed out of that money. So again, it's very, very restrictive, but I think we're very, very creative, and we're not going to let this money go to waste. We will find a way to spend this. So at one of our workshops, or at some point, we're going to have to bring that up. Is that good enough? That kind of.
Yeah, just a suggestion. Some places are having public meetings. If you don't want to do that, you could, anybody in the public, if they want to write in a suggestion.
Well, first they're going to have to read the stuff that, I don't know if all you guys got a
If
chance
we
to.
can, maybe post that on our page, like the borough
Well,
page.
Oh, okay.
There's no point in getting people to make suggestions if they don't know what the limitations are. You're just wasting
That's
your
right,
own
yeah.
time.
There's
I put
27
the-
pages.
Put the
Yeah.
cart before the horse there.
Yeah, so we're going, I've sent you everything, we've looked at some of that, but we by far do not know what we're talking about, so I'm not gonna go there right now.
Okay.
Once we have our act together, but we have 4 years to do this, to use this money, and we're gonna use it, one way or another. We're gonna think this out and figure it out. But we'll be the experts by the time it's done, because we're gonna do our homework. And so you all got some of that, right? Some of the reading material. All right, let's see. Is that okay then for the American Rescue Plan? Anybody else have anything they want to add to that? All right, and I think I've covered the audits. Anybody have any questions on those audits that are incomplete? They're never going to be right. I just want them done, just so because we're still red flagged. We cannot get state grants until that stuff is done.
Paul, how did you make out with the insurance on the bond?
Okay, I'll just jump right down there. I'm going to change our tact a little bit. We started doing some work on that. We knocked out 2 years. We were looking at everything. I'm going to limit our search to just to taxes, all these penalties, because that'll be good. You two worked real well on the computer. We can go back, find all those checks that went to the IRS. You guys have that down to a science. And the other thing, Mary Sue already has a bunch of checks that we found that were not cashed. And you go ahead, you just found one more when we were here. When were we here? I don't know when it was.
Over a check from the IRS of an overpayment of
Came to us.
over
Yeah.
$1,600 that we were owed, and it's been.
From what year was that? It's 19?
And
Yeah, you were here because we only had 1 year and we were over that 1 year.
And what's weird is, Peg and I sat here and went through a bunch of things that it was probably about that thick, but there's all different things in it. It
Right,
isn't
it's not
filed.
organized. I
There's
know.
a little bit of personnel, there's permits, there's resolutions that weren't taken care of, the permits were, now, Peg usually does the permits, but sometimes the secretary has to do
Well,
them. if Peg's
even the
not around.
resolution book is whacked out,
Yeah.
right? They were out of order and
Yeah.
we have to fix that type of stuff.
It's gonna take a while, but the goal is to
They-
get the thing straightened out.
Anyway, all this dovetails why we're gonna be in the red too. We have to get some money coming in here, so I'd like to deal with, this insurance will be a pain, but maybe next Wednesday, we can come in, you guys can come in and just plan on sitting down and doing that at some point. Tonight we'll take care of that Sam stuff and your phone, we'll do that. Because we're gonna need some revenue. Here's where we're at. John and I just looked. I wanted to find out what the opening balance was. How much money did they have in the checking this year, when this year started, and it was 55,000? Yeah. Thank you for doing that. We are right now at about $43,000. And this very little revenue comes in from this point on until next April. Is that when the taxes start rolling in here, about April? We will have, so we will have steady income coming in of about $2,000 per month. That comes from that earned income tax. So that's fairly stable source of revenue. So he and I sat here and we basically did the math, and I don't have that in front of me right now. But you can take that 43,000 and you can add $2,000 a month to that. And that's going to be the revenue that we're going to bring in, plus a little bit that you are contributing right now.
I have 1,900
Yeah, and I
yet
think
to get
some
here.
of that, I think I looked, some of that's already been deposited, and that's what's
No.
bringing us to the 43,000 because we're paying these IRS fines. She paid a lot of those.
Yeah.
So the point is, just as easily as we can figure out the amount of revenue coming in, we can figure our expenditures. We're going to owe Walt $8,000. We're going to have the the workers' comp for the fire company. That's about $9,000. We're going to have 2 audits. That will be about $5,000. And you have all these bills, the electric bill, all that stuff. When you figure that out, if we're lucky here, we are going to be left, we figure, with about $20,000 at the end of this year. So that's a considerable deficit. We started the year with $55,000. We're going to end the year with $20,000. You are getting into the danger zone at $20,000. That $20,000 then has to carry us until the money from real estate taxes rolls in roughly in April.
Well, it starts in March.
Yes, it does, but the bulk of it seems to roll in. I looked at 2018.
Yeah.
Now again, the bookkeeping back then, we know how good that was. That showed that nothing came in March. I don't know if that was right or not. That's
I have the
bookkeeping
reports, and it's supposed to. You got to check. And that's what I'd like to
there's 2 elements
check
to
with you
that.
two.
There's something else there. Different people that have done this job, some are slower to get it to the bank and to us than others are. Do you know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
hold the money for a month,
I don't hold
no,
it.
I know you won't. but
I
I'm
go
saying
every day.
That has happened
Yeah.
where somebody holds it for a month, so we would have no revenue coming in, but we get the revenue anyway. The point is, we have to rely on $2,000 a month plus that $20,000. We will be working that down until these real estate taxes come in. Now, the reason we're in this mess is because we had to repay liquid fuels. That was $24,000. 24.2 or something, and then we've been paying the IRS. We've already paid 7, I believe, and we added that up. We figured there's about 5 left to pay. So that's just too much of a burden. You have all your income here when you eliminate liquid fuels is about $100,000. So we're trying to run a whole borough on a big household income, roughly. And when you take $36,000 and you just give it away. Now next year we won't have that 24 to liquid fuels. We will not have that to pay. That was done this year. It's paid, but unless we get these fines, and that's where we have to count on Representative Thompson to help us out with these fines. We have to get rid of the fines. We can't keep giving $12,000 away and expect to operate this borough. We can't do that.
Are these fines within 10 years?
Most of these fines start, I'm going from memory here, it would be 2015 through 2018. 19 was fine, as near as we can tell, and then back problems again in 20. So for all those years, those are the years that I have given Representative Thompson information on how much all I could do here, this was the best I could do, is get them the annual earnings of each employee that we had over those years. I couldn't get the quarterlies. I don't have that. Now, what I have learned from Rich Strong, and I knew this, when you get online, you cannot see what was filed. You can for the state, but you can't for the federal. But you can get that stuff in writing. So we can request a written copy. Now, I didn't know that until I talked to him. And I'm hoping, I don't know what Representative Thompson's staff will do with this. I don't know, but all I know, it's in their court right now.
No possibility of waivers on some of the fines?
Yes, you can ask for waivers on these fines. They can stop fining us. They can do that. We do have to ask to do that.
If you make payments, they will stop it probably.
Oh, they won't stop it. This has been going on. They keep fining you until you get these quarterly reports filed. And I'm saying this is not fair. It never ends. It just seems to go on and on and on. So I'm saying, I'm asking them to do, tell us what we owe. I've given you the annual salaries. Based on that, you can calculate what we would owe for Social Security, for example. Just tell us. Fine us and be done with this. Don't keep fining us year after year after year. It's just not right. It just isn't. And I'm pointing out, the letter basically said we got into this mess because we hired bookkeepers that had no experience. They were given no supervision, no training, and this is how it ended up. It wasn't anybody that they did anything malicious. Now, some of them did. Some of them concealed this information from us. The bookkeepers knew that they were in trouble with the IRS, but they did not inform the board. And the bookkeeping was not good enough that we could figure that out on our own. So that did happen. The only way we did find this out is when Calvin was the director here. He got the notice and he saw it. And that's how all this came to light. But otherwise would have just, would have just kept paying fines here.
Paul, there's 3 things that are added on. There's penalties, there's interest, and there's fines. There's 3 lines, and one builds on the other one, on top of what you owe.
Yeah, so they really rake you over the coals. They're merciless, and I don't think it's right myself. And we'll see what happens here. Now we've had Catherine helping us, and the other thing I've learned here, we've probably burned Catherine out. I see stuff that she has sent here over the years that could have solved this problem, and some of the stuff was never even opened.
Mm-hmm.
Never even opened.
The priority envelope was what, from the year 2019?
Yes.
Laid off exactly what to sign and where to send it.
Yes.
The envelope wasn't even open.
So we have submitted we've submitted some of that stuff that we found.
Oh, yeah.
And paid that, and I don't know where that ends up, but Catherine knew what she was doing. She told the number of man hours that she put in here, the amount of correspondence that we found going through this, it's staggering. I'm surprised she even talks to any of us. I really am. After I saw this, oh my God, I had no idea. What's that?
Especially since you put her age in the paper.
I know, she hasn't talked to me since. No, she has, I'm kidding. But anyway, she would have good reason to write us off. And anyway, I told her the state knows all of this too. And the way I described this, I said, at best, right now we are limping along. We're hanging on to Sean on one side and Terry on the other. We're not functioning on our own. We're not self-reliant, and that's never ever a good place to be. We're just not. So hopefully within the end of this year we can get ourselves to the point where we're standing on our own 2 feet. And if we find, if these people are helping us out, it's like helping a needy person. You don't mind helping that person if you get that guy back on his feet and he stays there. But if 6 months you find him back in the gutter again, they're going to wash their hands of it. So we're going to get one chance here to fix this and make it work. And they know this has been 30 years of neglect is how we got into this mess. It just didn't happen to us. All right, so that's about enough. Is there anything else on there that I need to say? I do that more for anybody that might listen to this as opposed to the board. Any comments, questions? Did I miss anything?
Do we have a bond for the tax collector?
You? I thought you were bonded through the county bonds you.
They never sent me anything.
They told me to back off.
I received a notice that we had it through Mr. Keith.
Yeah, we had, and they told us that they provide that bond,
right.
So we canceled that. But he did say he may not have canceled that. I'm not sure.
It's still there, and I have the invoice, so I didn't know what you were going to do.
My understanding, and again, nobody told me this at the time. It'd be real helpful to know this. My understanding of this whole thing is that the county pays for the bond, and they do through Burns and Burns. We don't pay. I didn't know that, so I got us that bond with Joe Keith. I negotiated with him. But so then we got all that stuff. I saw the emails, and they were saying that they were going to bond you through Burns and Burns.
I haven't heard anything from. He took information. I filled out the app, and he said I'm bonded, but I never received the documentation.
What's his name?
Lemon or
Le-
Lehman or something like
Lemo.
that. Lemo,
Andy
that's
Lemo,
it.
Yeah.
Is it something we could just call on to see if they,
I sent an email to him, but
All right.
no
no
response.
response? How many days ago was that?
Oh, a week and a half ago.
Oh, he should have heard something by then though.
Yeah. He sent me an email, but he had Gerald W. Spade Jr., and I said, that's my son. So, so he had to redo it, and then I never
I
got.
backed out of that. Again,
Okay.
I don't, this stuff hit me cold just like everybody. I didn't know anything about it. I did the best I could as quickly as I could. I got a bond,
Yeah.
and then I found out I wasn't supposed to do that.
Well, the judge is the one that made the order that it was a county-wide.
Well, he made the order that the bond has to be for 50% of your take.
Yeah,
And
But I think it's
they
through
did
this
tell me that.
agency.
I knew that.
because it was like a bid presentation, and this Thomas or the company that Mr. Lemo is.
Yeah, he works for Burns and Burns. No, I don't know who the underwriter is. I'm not sure of that, but I thought this was all taken care of.
No, I don't have any documentation, and I need to be
Right,
able to have.
Right, you need to be bonded.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, while we're on that, we were talking about this before the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to pay stuff electronically with everybody by check? How is this?
Well, I'm still waiting for that canceled check. You stamped the back of the check, and I was, oh boy, I got the number. It's
should be on
smudged.
the
It's
front.
smudged on the
Let's just give them a check. Just
Yeah.
write void. Right on the front of the check, you'll have
Yeah,
the
have the
routing number
Micker
and the
numbers.
account number.
Yeah.
As we check out, do you want to give that? You checked on. We were concerned. All I know is my own experience with my own accounts. I can switch money all over the place, back
Yeah.
and forth.
I do that all the time.
You can't do that here. Yours will only go one way. Is that right, Mary Sue?
That's
from what
correct.
You got?
That's-
You
I
can
can't
only
take
put
anything
right,
out of
right.
you,
can
no.
only put it in.
And I have to
No.
do it at the office. I have to tell them I want an inter-office transfer. It's not a wire. It's an
It's
inter.
not called that.
It is. It's actually electronic transfer, but it doesn't matter. I don't care too much about the terminology.
Otherwise,
but-
it's $30-some for a wire
Well, only
transfer.
See, that's if you do
It just
then this
transfers
day,
from
that
one
day.
account to the other.
And you're doing. If you're willing to do it the second day, there's no fee. It's if I want wire money transferred right now, right this minute, you have to pay for that unless you're like me. My broker will cover it no matter what I do. But normally you wait one day.
I have 3 different
and-
accounts, and I transfer
Well, anyway,
wherever I
here's where I'm
want.
going with all of this. There'll be no bounced checks. No,
No.
I'll bounce all those checks. That can't happen
No,
because it won't allow you to send more money than you have in that account.
correct.
And if you can't get into our account, to me it's safer, and I don't understand why everybody isn't doing it, why the school district isn't doing it,
Yeah.
and the county. Maybe there's something I don't know here. And that's entirely possible, but it makes no sense to me to be sending out checks back and forth. It just doesn't. You know, everybody's behind times.
I just tell the clerk to transfer this to this account.
Well, you can do it. You can do it from your. I do it from my computer. I never talk to a person.
I
You
may
two
have to
accounts.
have.
You have your account, and then you'll have this account, and you should be able to get on that. That's what I do. I
They
just
have
get on.
They
Off.
have to have his name and stuff, so I'll have to probably call him or.
I have to be authorized to do it.
Sure seems more complicated than I imagined. But it is what it is. If you have to get
Northwest
checks,
is
you
a
have
little
to
bit more conscious of security.
Well, I am too. I'm real security conscious. I manage a lot of money, and so I take security pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that takes care of the tax issue. I think I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else, Mary Sue? Sorry for bounced around on all this crap.
You always do. I'm getting used to it.
Do you have nobody has anything? All right, and I guess we need a motion. Mike,
I'm good.
you're good. We need a motion to adjourn then.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait.
The other meetings.
We didn't have any minutes here. We do. That'll be the next time. You have to do 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
The
yes.
coming up meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you run that ad? Did you get the stuff from me? You did the ad for the previous paving.
Yes.
And did you get the one for this one?
Yes.
And so, in there, we will have our regular meeting, which will be the first Monday of August. I think that's something like the second, does that sound, whatever the first Monday in August. Then we have another meeting that we have to schedule where we're going to open bids. I believe that is the 9th. I'm going from memory here. Does that sound right?
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. We have that information in there, whatever it is, and it's in the
Because we
ad.
needed 17 days, right? 17 days
Yeah.
from.
Well, hey, we actually went a little bit farther. I went 2 weeks. It'll be a Monday. So if the Monday's the second, that'd be 1 week later. It'll be on the 9th.
Mhm.
If I'm wrong, just fix that. I feel pretty confident that that will be the date that we will open bids here. So again, that should be a quick meeting, and that will probably be the only thing on the agenda, unless we have some type of updates or something.
So, August 1st is.
Second
Second is Monday,
Second.
right?
is Monday.
And then that means the 9th would be
And
the
then-
following Monday,
Yes.
and that's when we will open bids.
Okay.
Now I try to keep you up on that. You went with Sean, you're learning stuff, right?
Yep.
You pretty much know how this works. We will, I'm making this a bidders list, which I have at home on my computer. And what we'll do is we'll just send, I just forward Sean's email. Sean gives us an email, the guy from PennDOT, with 16 or 17 attachments. And we will simply forward that to every bidder whose email address I have. And it's not all of them, but I have a lot of them. So it's real quick. And the other ones, we will come down here and we will print them out. And now, thanks to LaDon here, that I know how to
Scan.
yeah, we can do that. I was doing them one at a time, and you know, now I know you can do all that stuff. Don't make fun of me.
That's nice that everybody know. You gotta
I know,
teach me.
I know, she does all the stuff that I can't. So,
That,
so we can, if we have to print them out, we know
it'll
how to
still be
mail them.
advertised in the paper though.
He's done the meetings, yes.
No, the bidding thing.
He's done that.
Mhm.
He's taken care of that. So there's something, and we have to make sure that we get a copy of those ads and put, because otherwise in 2 years, you guys are gonna be paying back a lot of money again to Liquid Fuels. We do not want that to happen.
Well, when these bids and these things go, these,
Right.
the certain ads, the Progress sends,
Like an invoice.
A clip with the receipt.
Yeah,
what?
They send a clip of the article with
With
the
Yeah,
receipt,
but
you-
it's, oh shoot, I can't think of the word.
How
It's
many,
like
how many days
like
do you
notarized.
have to have that bid out? Isn't it 30 days?
no,
Oh, it
it's
isn't?
whatever he tells us. And here's part of the procedure
Wow.
I know. We have this meeting tonight. That ad has to run, what day? 2 days, on the
22nd
22nd.
and the 26th.
And then on the 20th, so yeah, 4 days later again. Then after that, we can set whatever we want. You want to give them a reasonable amount of time so they can do the worksheet.
So you're asking for a request for proposals?
It's more or less an RFP, yes.
Okay.
So they're going to send in the bids, and we will, just like the last time, we'll open them up here and we'll go through them. We'll look at them first.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that, and then you have to
Yes.
put it in the paper too, like he gets.
Yes. And Sean sent a checklist. Did you get a copy of the checklist? Everything we have to do and everything we have to keep. Did you
I
guys
didn't
see
get
that?
it.
I tried to send that to everybody, but that means you'd have to look through each one of his 16 or 17 attachments. Or maybe this was a different one. I get so many, but whatever it is, I sent it here, and we have to check every item on that list, or we're going to end up back where we are. We did it the last time too, and I don't know what happened here after Joe Adam and Angel quit. Everything got lost. You found the records we needed just recently for the paving from State
That the other year.
Quaker Paving.
Yeah, and some other.
Yeah, it was somewhere it shouldn't have been. You couldn't reason it out logically because there's nothing logical here. But we did find that. It didn't do us any good, but we did find it. And they could have simply called the paving company if they'd have acted promptly and got that and got it in and saved us. It's okay though. We got a lot of money to pave with. But the other thing Terry told us, and if we're not careful, we're going to end up there. we are not on the 100, what did she call it?
Top 100.
The top 100 counties that are unable to pay their bills. They're not
Municipalities that are,
insolvent, they're
yeah,
not
in
exactly,
trouble.
but
The
stressed municipalities. And the only reason we're not is
We're
because
stressed, we're not distressed.
yes, fortunately, we had a good deal of money from 2018 that we have burned through almost entirely, and that is the only reason we are not a distressed municipality. Right there. Now that savings is gone. It'll be gone this year. So there'll be no cushion. If we mess up next year, we can't pay the bills. We figured I'll run this by you again. We're going to end up with about $20,000 at the end of the year. We started the year with $55,000. That's not good. And most of it came from right there. I mean, we cut everything you can cut. There's nothing else to cut. But anyway, we got that checklist. You got everything in. So on the 9th, we'll open bids. That should be an easy meeting, and hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, Sean, he's actually paving more than we wanted. But it's still paving. It's okay by me. He's going to do Water Street. Then at each intersection, I think, is he going 20 feet
20 feet.
into each intersection? So he had his reasons for doing that. He's been doing this for a long time, so when he speaks, I listen on these things. So we'll do what he asks. That's going to cost us a little more. We did the math. We thought we were going to get by with $20,000. That's not going to happen. And I can't say any more about that. Maybe I shouldn't have even said that.
Hey, Paul, we're gonna have Spruce Street closed between Forest and Upper Railroad, the 22nd to 23rd, and possibly 24th to put these cross drains in.
Okay.
I've notified Jones in case they have a bus run to go up through there. I notified the fire company, and I notified Clearfield County Emergency Management.
Yeah, and I saw that. That's already come through on our email that you've made those notifications.
Oh, okay. You already got it then?
The corner of Spruce and which one? Railroad.
I don't know.
Upper Railroad.
The states sent us an email confirming what he just told us. Like we can read
You
those
might have got
emails.
a PA1 call notice too.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, the PA1 call.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has anything else,
Pay the bills.
let's pay those. Need a motion to pay those bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Need a
I second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Pay the bills. Then I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a second.
Did
All
you-
in favor? What?
With the bills, did you do how many in favor?
Oh, I didn't object this time. I didn't the last time either. I was being funny.
So go back to,
Yeah, everybody voted. It's unanimous to
Okay.
pay those bills. And now I need we're going to vote on to adjourn. We have the
Sean and
motions,
Kevin.
so it's all in favor.
Aye.
Aye, everybody's in favor. So we're out here, and you can stick around for a little bit, and we'll fix that phone.
I'll get you